Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulog, lipat na Blue Eagle, kalingiting nagigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan.
Pagbati po mga Katipuneros, this is Cardinal Chito Tagle. Join me every week on the Word Exposed on Air, here on the Voice of the Blue Eagle, Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM, the Ateneo Campus Radio.
The Voice of the Blue Eagle, radyo-katipunan 87.9. Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!
Do you have concerns or problems about the school? Pag may dilemma, huwag mag-alala.
Sabihin sa sango. Pag may dilema, huwag mag-alala.
Locate our boxes around campus and simply fill out the forms in the stations. Drop them in the box and boom, you're done. You can also fill out our forms online.
Sabihin sa sango.
This is a service brought to you by your Sangu. Pag may problema, huwag mag-alala.
Racism and discrimination are spreading alongside the new coronavirus. Remember that the virus has no ethnicity, no gender, nor social class. Let's stand together as one community of human beings and flatten the curb of racism. Our diversity can unite us for a better, more inclusive and peaceful world. During the COVID-19 outbreak, only trust official information sources and credible media outlets. Do not share unverified information. This is a message from UNESCO.
Jescom Music Ministry. Music that uplifts the soul. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Kaibigan, alam mo na ba kung ano ang mga karaniwang sintomas ng COVID-19? Ito ay ang mga sumusunod: lagnat, pagkapagod, at dry cough. Habang sa ilan naman ay sipon at baradong ilong, sore throat o diarrhea. May ilan naman na wala pang sintomas, pero pwede pa rin nilang maipasa ang virus sa iba. Kung ikaw ay nasa mga lugar kung saan kumakalat ang COVID-19 o kaya may close contact sa mga taong kumpirmadong may COVID-19 o sa mga nag-aalaga sa kanila, ipagbigay alam ito sa health worker sa inyong barangay. COVID-19, kayang-kaya nating tapusin.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulog, lipat na Blue Eagle, kalingiting nagigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, radyo, radyo.
Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil.
Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Level up! Paulit-ulit kang nagplano. Paulit-ulit ngunit lagi din naman nababago.
We're on live. All good already. All the best. Well, I really miss going live here now. For the past few weeks, we have new content for Level Up. But then, nag-live tayo ngayon kahit mahuli week na next week because we have very, very special people. We have the honorees of the 2021. I was corrected. Kala ko 2022 kasi awards sila ngayong 2022. Pero we have the honorees of the 2021 Search for the Outstanding Young Men of the Philippines. So, kasama pa rin, the operative word there is young. Let's see how young they think and they act and, well, they carry themselves. No? But we are lucky to be in the company of greatness. The great people that we have now, the honorees, are the two models of exceptional young Filipinos worth emulating by the younger generation, even younger generation in the nation in general. So ang theme nila this year is Everyday Leaders Enabling Extraordinary Impact, which underscores the value of work beyond the call of duty. So it's different because we have here parang the unique stories of various people. Sabi nga walang superstar, pero yung star nila manggagaling sa sarili nilang mga accomplishments. Diba? Parang hindi yung stellar magnitude na pag nabanggit yung pangalan, parang it rings a bell already, but their stories are really unique. So, I have here the pleasure of calling each one of them. Tapos, well, may list ako dito pero meron pang mga taong wala sa Zoom, no? So, let's start here according to the list given to me by the JCs. Let's start with Miss Eloisa Diga, an awardee for agricultural entrepreneurship. Good afternoon, Eloisa. So, handa ka na para sa awarding niya mamayang gabi?
Hi, Sir Noel. Oo, so tingin ko handa na yata. Salamat.
Okay, maganda yan. Pero yung first question na sinabi ko sa inyo, no? I wanna know, kinareer mo ba yung nomination mo or ito'y parang parang dumating na lang at nakachamba, parang gano'n? Can you tell us about your unique story in preparing for the nominations and eventually the awards?
Oo, Sir Noel, buti na tanong mo yan kasi sa totoo, weird ba pag sinabi kong hindi ko masyadong alam ang
OYM, no? Okay lang yan. At
Ah,
least,
oo.
you're not working for the award. No? Parang gawa ka lang ng gawa and then eventually, if they recognize you, kung meron pa lang yan, how did you come up with the requirements? Kasi ang daming requirements yan, di ba?
Oo. Tinanong ko nga rin si Miss Lian from JCI Sunflower Baguio kung paano niya ako nahanap. Yung pala, matagal na namin siyang follower since 2019 pa. Tapos sabi niya, nagugustuhan niya yung activity. Kasi sa totoong buhay, hindi rin ako ma-post. So nagpo-post lang ako dun sa FB namin, pero it's all about the farmers. Tapos sabi niya, nahirapan sila sa part ng documentation pa nga. Kasi since wala kaming pictures, so meron lang kaming write-up. Kasi nakatulong sa amin yung Gawad Pilipinoy ng Mang-Inasal na ni-award noong 2019. Yun yung ginamit. Pero yung pagre-research niya kung ano yung mga ginagawa namin moving forward, doon kami nahirapan. Tapos, ang kwento sa akin, last minute nila yan sinubmit. So, 1 minute na lang, bago deadline, na i-submit pa. Kaya, thank you Lord, thank you TOYM for choosing yung sa Agri.
Ang ganda lang kasi parang now, ang insight dyan is you don't work for awards really. If awards come, maraming salamat. Pero parang tuloy lang sa trabaho. It's not about the awards. It's not about even you. But it's about the service you do for your community. At pag-usapan natin yan mamaya. Let's call on the second guest, no? Nandun siya, on the way already. Siya siguro yung mauuna at pinaka-early bird sa venue kasi papunta na siya. So, ang graduation name niya ay Eleazar Orubia, but he's better known as Abe, no? Abe Orubia. He's an awardee for education and culture. Magandang hapon, Abe. Kumusta? Nasaan ka na banda? Papunta sa venue.
Susana Heights, sir.
Susana Heights. So, okay. Sa may South. So, Laguna, di ba? So,
yes, sir.
Mag-alabang ka pa going to your venue. So, Abe, same question. How did you prepare for this award? Were you really conscious on like hitting it? I know a lot of people that hindi lang first time, second time, may pangatlong beses pa nga, hindi pa rin nananalo. So, what was this? Your first try in the TOYM?
I wasn't aware of the TOYM
Also.
as well. So, it just happened that last year, ang dami kong projects. Kasi I'm an artist, sir. And then, yung ginagawa ko, last year, I'm doing curatorial works for artists. So, I'm as well writing, doing write-up contributions sa Art Class Magazine. And then, nag-curate ako ng Tomasian exhibition, whereas from 1958 batch hanggang 2018 may mga sumali. So these are the selected Tomasian na talagang maganda yung career nila. So kahit yung pinili kong from 1958 together with the help of our President Marisa Pet, ay talagang until now, talagang patuloy pa rin yung career nila. And then after that, Sir Noel Isidro was also a TOYM awardee 1979. Okay. So he told Miss Marisa Pet, could you recommend other for the TOYM? I wasn't aware of that. And then yung dalawa pala nag-uusap na, tapos sinend sa akin ni Miss Marisa Pet yung screenshot na tinatanong kung I'm 40 years old na. So tinanong nila, sabi ko, I'm not even 40 years old. So I wasn't preparing for this. Talagang totally ginawa ko yung preparation for my portfolio. I call it a portfolio. Naging mabilis naman kasi hinanap ko lang. Good thing my mom and then my dad kept everything intact. Pero marami pa rin ako syempre piliin kasi 25 MB lang yung kailangan. I'm from the visual arts education and then I'm a cultural advocate. So I have many talagang visuals. So yun yung buhay ng portfolio ko. Though I have also certifications, doing this and doing that, and then documentations as well. And then I have news articles where I am published. So that's a way easy for me. Kaya lang, I'm juggling with everything kasi I'm teaching. And then at the same time, doing exhibition and preparing also for my own solo exhibition. So medyo naging mahirap para sa akin, sir. But it's a good thing.
No, he's actually saying
binigay ko lalatag yung portfolio. They decided for me. And then
Correct.
I approve it, everything.
And then you said nga, parang
No,
it
pero sir,
helped
I did not.
sabi mo, it helped that everything was digital, no? That at least you can access it online. Kasi kung di ba, kukunin mo sa mga offices yung mga recommendations katulad nung dating mga portfolios, ang hirap i-gather, no? So, but otherwise, ang context pa ng lahat ng ginagawa nyo yan, ginawa nyo yung nomination na yan habang may pandemya pa rin. So, it makes it
Yes, sir.
harder, di ba?
Yung iba, sir, yung parang bata pa ako kasi, di ba, nomination ng TOYM
That's true.
starts at 18 years old. So, meron ako mga backup na, not back.
Yeah. So, parang this is your life.
Letter to me. Yeah, that's 1995 pa. So, syempre, I have to document those. Parang pinakita ko rin yung backstory ko. So, my journey. Diba?
Yeah.
So, I'm not preparing for TOYM. Actually, reluctant ako all the time. Kasi ilang beses ako inalok ni Sir Isidro sa kanila Marite. Sabi ko, baka marami pang pwede. Kaya lang, sabi nga ni Sir Isidro, sabi, bihira ang UST. Sabi na nakakapasok, puro UP. O, ganun lang. Parang medyo may nudge coming from him.
No, but now you're representing another school because you're teaching in St. Benilde. But thank God they have the best art program, no? So a lot of practitioners are really like mentoring and doing work with St. Benilde.
Yeah, the St. Benilde has all the lahat ng teachers diyan ay practitioners. So I could say, and then doing the traditions. So maganda yung lineup.
That's true. Maraming salamat, Abe. Babalikan kita mamaya. So thank you for joining us while at least you're not driving. The next one. Karadating lang din sa Zoom, an awardee for science and technology. We have Maria Isabel Palma. Good afternoon, Isabel.
Hello,
you're
good
made up
afternoon
already.
po.
You're made up
Yes.
already. Yan yung advantage mo kay Eloisa kasi mamaya pa siya mag-aayos ng konti. But Isabel, the question was, well, like all the others, how did you prepare for this? Ang sabi daw, dalawa yung klase ng mga submissions dyan sa TOYM. Either kina-career, yung kasi ang daming gather ng mga materials for the nomination, or chamba lang. Were you really expecting this award?
I wasn't really expecting that I'd be a recipient of TOYM. I just I was shooting my shot when yung JCI Naga, they contacted me and they said na, Miss Palma, may we nominate you for the TOYM? Sabi ko, okay, kasi parang at my age, since I'm still studying, parang it's not the TOYM that I'm after.
That's true.
It's the outstanding young student of the Philippines pa. So parang when they asked me about the TOYM, parang I consulted agad with my parents na should we submit or next time na lang when I'm more confident. And then usually kasi may yung dad ko, he's usually the one who pushes me talaga. Tapos sabi niya, siguro may nakita sila sa'yo. That's why they ask. Kasi they won't ask naman if hindi naman nila nakikita na your TOYM material. So sabi ko, okay. And nung time na yon kasi since pandemic last year, parang I was looking for opportunities talaga where I can earn sideline sa studies ko as well as extracurricular ko rin. Kumbaga, parang if ever I go internship, I have work experience na rin. So, saktong-sakto at that time, yung ina-applyan ko for work, they were asking for NBI clearance. But then, I didn't push with that work na lang kasi sabi ko, hindi naman worth, hindi ko nakita na worth yung salary and then yung effort na ibibigay ko. So, yung NBI clearance ko, nakuha ko na siya. Pero sabi ko, saan ko naman ito gagamitin? And then one day, diba? Parang, a few days after I got my NBI clearance, doon na nagsabi na, Miss Isabel pala, requirement pala yung NBI clearance. So, sabi ko, buti saktong-sakto, I got my NBI clearance. So, kasi in Naga, it takes some time since yung name ko parang ang daming hits. So sabi ko, okay, sige.
Sorry, but I want to ask, how old are you? Because I have the book now, yung sketches. They have trivias on the youngest TOYM awardee. But are you the youngest na now?
No, in this roster daw, I'm the youngest. I'm just 23. Pero
2015.
in history, I
Lea
think it's
Salonga,
Lea
I guess.
Salonga. Yes, she was
Na
18.
18 or 19.
18,
Yes,
18, yeah.
Okay, so yun.
So, medyo older na ako there. So, I'm not the youngest.
At least
Pero
ikaw yung
like,
baby ng grupo.
ako po actually yung baby ng grupo ngayon. I usually call them tito and tita. Kasi their ages are para mga titas and titas na. So sabi ko, wag na tuloy yung ates and kuyas.
So I'll ask them later how they feel about it. But yeah, thank you for like achieving that. But then again, katulad ng insight kanina, no, you work not for the award, but actually
Yes.
for your service. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't expect na, never in my wild dreams na manonominate ako for TOYM. Much more, magiging recipient ako ng TOYM. It's
Much
more about...
the youngest. Much
Oo.
more the youngest of this batch,
Yes.
no? Okay
So
din lang.
parang for me, it's more of what I can do and what I do to help other people and what I can initiate para maki-encourage ng younger generation and especially my generation kasi kami na yung
Very good.
it's not the future na it's more of it's not the distant future, like it can
Now.
happen next year na
That's true.
it's happening now na.
That's true. That's true.
So yung goal ko lang talaga in advocacy ko is to inspire a lot of young people like me and young people at heart then to act and do something about what's the pressing issue, which is climate change. Kasi for me kasi other social issues won't be relevant if yung Mother Earth na yung nag-give up sa atin and deteriorated na lahat ng resources natin. So wala tayong ibang choice kundi we have to live with it, and doing something about that is really important kasi it's our lives and at the end of the day wala tayong ibang pupuntahan kundi dito lang sa Earth. Even though may expeditions na, not a lot of people will be able to afford that, of course. So to help and save a lot of more people, we have to take care of our environment and act now.
Umanda ka kasi kung magkakaroon ng mga programs yung mga batches, di ba? And normally, the workforce are the young people. So ikaw yung uutusan ng mga tito-tita mo, ate at kuya mo dito sa batch na to. I'll go on to the next awardees. They're in the field of medicine. And when I see them in Zoom, para silang pinagbiyak na bunga. Para silang magkapatid. So let's call on Dr. Jaime Herrera. So meron talaga siyang A doon sa Herrera. But normally it's Jaime Herrera. And then Dr. Melvin Sanicas na nagkamali ang inquirer kasi tinawag siyang Dr. Manicas. So Sanicas siya talaga. So good afternoon. You're really very relevant. Lalo na sinasabi nila this is still the year of the pandemic. But the stories of the doctors may not be the biggest ones. Parang hindi naman kailangan celebrated. But yours is unique because you chose to be relevant in your own way. Sir Jaime, how are you? And how have you survived the COVID situation?
Hi, Sir Noel. Thank you for having us. Ngayon, compared to months ago, or even last year or 2 years ago, malaking luwag. We get to breathe.
Yes.
In fact, ngayon, first time kong lumabas na talagang labas-labas. Nag-check-in kami sa Okada for the awarding. So, buong family ko yun and medyo nagtapang kami. So, I think compared to months ago, it's much better.
Yeah.
And I hope na talagang we're seeing the end of the light at the end.
Sana Doc, nakapagpa-haircut ka pa nga for this occasion. So, very good.
Nakapagpagpapit na.
No, but Doc, they're talking about having a surge in 2 months kasi daw nagwe-wane na yung vaccine at saka yung booster shots. Sa tingin mo, that's forthcoming or we can thwart it?
Well, I think Dr. Melvin will be the vaccinologist, he could best answer this, no? But I think at least on our part, no, I think anticipation is really the key. We do have experts that have shown, no, na kaya nilang ma-predict yung behavior ng virus, and I think it's really anticipating for something or for a surge, so that we could we could stay a few steps ahead of this virus. So kung dadating siya, I think it's predictable, and I think we could take steps ahead of that already.
Galing,
Dr.
galing.
Mel.
I'll ask you the same question I asked them. Did you really want this TOYM Awards or it came as a surprise too?
Oo, syempre nakakagulat din. Actually, the person who really wanted me the person who really wanted to nominate me was a previous TOYM din, si Jing Geraldine Zamora. She'll be with me later. Talagang parang months ago pa niya sinasabi eh. And then finally nung sinabi niya, gusto mo bang ma-nominate this year? Kasi 37, I have 3 years to go. Sabi ko, sure. And then, yun pala, parang yung deadline, parang the next day na.
Yes.
Parang September 30 ba yung deadline? She told me parang September 29. So, siya yung gumawa ng paraan. Kinontact niya yung department chair ng PGH to ask kung pwede ba. She contacted JCI, for JCI Iloilo, thank you by the way, si Sir John, and then, they made it happen in a day. So, na-stress kasi ang dami palang kailangan submit.
Yes.
Hanap ako ng hanap ng picture sa Facebook. Puro Facebook na lang eh. Wala naman talaga akong pictures eh. Picture sa Facebook, kung sino-sino, sa Instagram, para masubmit yung portfolio, which was due the next day. And then the main portfolio was to be submitted, I think 14 days after that. So in a way, kinareer naman, but we were given parang 2 weeks lang to prepare. And I'm very grateful na despite that short period of time, medyo pinagpala naman ako. And I was good.
Lalo na in your profession, I guess, no? Parang the significance of doctors are really, underscored. Lalo na, we're still in a pandemic anyway. So, yun. Congratulations, and we'll ask the other doctor, Dr. Melvin Sanicas, hello. And finally, we pronounce your family name right. So, Doc, yun nga, same question. Are we out of the woods? Are we seeing better days already, or magkaka-surge nga in 2 months?
I think it's possible na magkaka-surge in 2 months, pero it will not be like March 2020. So, we have the vaccines, we have the treatments, daming cases, but it will not be like 2020.
Okay. Good assurance from you, who's like a vaccine expert. No, but Doc, again, same question as theirs. Did you really prepare for this, or did you have time to do this while attending to your patients?
Sir, a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, I was nominated. But then I could not produce an NBI clearance.
So it matters.
Yeah, so hindi na finalized bali yung ang nomination kasi walang NBI clearance. It was difficult kasi nasa Switzerland ako, and to get an NBI clearance, you have to go to the embassy, papadala mo sa Pilipinas yung documents, someone has to go to NBI sa Taft. So, dumating yung NBI clearance ko, tapos na yung deadline. So sabi ko, okay, maybe it's not for me.
Okay. Tapos doon, but now you have it. So, meron ka na talagang hawak na NBI clearance.
Yeah, exactly. And yung nag-nominate sa akin actually, mga followers ko sa Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
pala yun.
I didn't have any recommendations from physicians or scientists. Puro
really?
Sila, and then they just contacted nandun ng ganito. Sabi ko, what's this? Totoo ba to? So ako naman, I sent them some of the documents that they were asking for. Tapos sila yung nag-work with JCI Iloilo for my portfolio. Kaya nakakatuwa kasi
both of you doctors.
Sa Iloilo pa ako pinanganak.
Okay, but you don't but PGH po kayo, Dr. Jaime. And then where do you practice?
Yes. Ako, sorry, are you asking me or si Dr.
Yes. So,
ako, I practice
in PGH.
Yes, I practice in PGH and sa Muntinlupa Asian Hospital.
Sa Muntinlupa. You're practicing, Sir Dr. Melvin, where?
I'm doing research po, pero most of my patients are in Latin America because that's where we do our vaccine trials.
May nanalo na. So talagang it goes well beyond our borders. But yeah, thank you for doing this, for being awarded and the chance of inspiring people. So I'll go one round with all of you, no? What does it mean to have a TOYM award? Parang what does it represent, and how different is it from all the other recognitions that you have? Ma'am Eloisa, go.
Ang hirap nung sa tanong, pang Miss Universe.
Hindi. Well, kailangan yan. Well, ang significance ito, like, lalo na ngayon, no? Panahon ng pandemya, parang do people really care about awards now? Parang, but we turn to really inspiring stories. And parang sa ngayon, di ba, sa dami ng mga nakaka-down na mga balita, kaya kailangan i-highlight talaga yung achievements ninyo. Parang we turn to really good stories and inspiring stories such as yours.
Oo
So,
nga,
sa field nyo po, ano po yung parang, with the field that you represent, no? Gaano ka relevant itong pagkilalang ito?
Alam mo, Sir Noel, yung pagre-receive namin ng award, napakalaking bagay yon kasi nakakapag-inspire tayo ng ibang tao na
Totoo.
maging mabuting tao pa. Tapos yung bukod dun sa prestige na naibibigay nito, nagkakaroon ng hope yung bawat isa na pwedeng makapagbigay. Actually, kami yung nare-receive naming award, nire-represent lang namin yung, kunyari ako sa agriculture industry, nire-represent ko lang yung lahat ng mga tao doon, mula doon sa customer hanggang doon sa supplier, sa lahat ng tumutulong sa amin, nire-represent lang namin. Kaya yung pagre-receive ng award, kasama ko dito yung mga magsasaka at yung mga ibang tao pa behind ng success ng ginagalawan ko. At saka pagka ganito na syempre yung TOYM, malaking nare-reach niya na market, or pagka nababalita kami, malaki yung nabibigay na inspiration. Mahalaga sa amin yun kasi paano kung merong mga youth na gusto rin na mag-venture sa agribusiness, or gusto rin mag-inspire, maging enabler ng industry na to. Mahalagang nakikita kami para mas madami, mas mabilis tayong dumami, mas magiging maganda yung mundo natin. So I think yun, Sir Noel.
You've been an awardee of Gawad Pilipinoy and a lot of other things, no ma'am? At ito walang cash prize. Pero tumataas ba yung value ninyo? Well, after this, will you earn a promotion? What side gain will you have here?
Siguro nakakadagdag kasi siya ng confidence. Alam mo yung pagkakaroon ng advocacy, hindi naman talaga siya
Well, nag-freeze si ma'am. Oh. Tumagal ng konti. Siguro after winning TOYM, aayos ang yung Wi-Fi, ma'am. Kailangan, di ba? Kasi di ba?
kasi
ayan, sponsor ang PLDT ng TOYM. Yes. Sabi ko, sponsor ang PLDT ng TOYM. Sana bigyan na kayo ng mas matatag na Wi-Fi. Ayan po. Nako, nag-freeze pa rin. Let's go. Ayan. Let's go to Sir Abe. Sir Abe, go. Kayo po, tataas ba yung value mo bilang artist dahil dito sa TOYM?
Partly, sir.
Okay.
It could improve, but at the end of the day, kasi nire-represent ko lang naman yung maraming artists sa mundo, maraming artists sa Pilipinas. Mas marami pang magaling. It just happened that hindi lang sila nabigyan ng attention o na-nominate. Yung iba, silent workers. Yun lang yung masasabi ko. But I'm really honored and humbled to be part of this batch. Unang-una, kasi hindi ko lang din naman nire-representa yung mga artists. I'm representing, of course, the education sector.
Yes.
I'm teaching in the academy. So, maraming nai-inspira sa mga storya na ganito. So, yun lang yung bawi sa amin. At the end of the day, wala naman tong taas ng sahod bilang sa day job ko.
Pero tataas yung rank mo, di ba? Sometimes because of your awards. In academia, they consider that, yes. Pero sana naman.
They consider that. Kaya lang syempre, I'm not after the
Yes, very good.
I'm not after kasi I'm more on the service talaga na binibigay ko sa humanity. Kasi like, nagsusulat ako sa mga kapwa ko artists. Bakit ako nagsusulat sa mga kapwa ko artists? Kasi minsan naiilang, hindi lahat ng artists magaling sila manilita sa kanilang visual interpretations. Pero when it comes to speaking the right words or being articulate with what they want to tell, what they would like to tell about their narrative, they're having a hard time. So at least pag ako kausap nila, siguro in a way, I'm not saying I'm good, but parang iisa yung ligwak ng bituka namin. So naiintindihan ko sila, nauunawaan ko sila, hindi sila nahihiya sa akin. So I'm really helping, particularly yung may mga bagong career pa lang. Tapos tinutulungan ko talaga. And then syempre, kahit na yung may magaganda ng career kasi ang ganda maka-work yung sa industry. And then of course, I'm working. Prior to this, sir, I had an exhibition at the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, and then champion ko yung kagaya ni Doc Melvin at ni Doc Jaime, kasi yun yung isa sa mga highlight ko, yung vaccination, yung hirap na mga frontliners natin, yung pati si Eloisa, yung highlight ko rin with my drawings and my process, yung hirap na mga magsasaka natin, na na-highlight yung kahalagahan nila sa society kasi nagkaroon ng sanction sa buong mundo, na nagkaroon ng mga lockdowns. Tapos saan tayo aasa? Ang backbone ng society natin ay yung local industry na mga magsasaka. So being an artist siguro nakatulong po yung pagiging traveler ko, and then pakikipag-usap sa iba't ibang tao. Ayun. Kami, free spirit nga kami yung sinasabi. And then it just happened that also I'm from the academy. So nakatulong po na mas disiplinado ko sa ibang parte, 'di ba? Hindi pwede pong gawitin ko lang emosyon kung kailan lang ako gusto magpinta, ganun lang.
That's true.
'Di ba? Yung mga tipong ganun, nakatulong po lahat 'yan sa akin sa but again, nalulula ako rather with this lineup kasi ang gagaling nila lahat.
Ang galing nyo, kayong lahat. Well, actually, yun nga, parang we were under the pandemic and we still are, pero parang may iba't ibang aspect ng pandemya na parang it's sort of healing, no? You contributed to the healing of that pandemic. So with you, it's art. So maraming salamat. Dahil I guess you're being awarded also because there are limitations that we have in society because of what's happening. Pero nalagpasan nyo yon, naigpawan nyo yon. So maraming salamat, Abe. Mamaya tatanungin pa kita sa ibang pwedeng mangyari, no? Lalo na sinabi nila art heals now. So parang that's what we need, healing in our society, and let's bring it to another level, no? Maraming levels of healing. And now si Isabel is talking about healing the environment at this point. Katatapos lang ng Earth Hour at maraming efforts in trying to make better our environment, Isabel. But how different is your intervention? And given your age at this point, parang are people receptive, or they're the people of your age na with the changes that you want and the advocacies that you have pertaining to the environment?
It's really amazing rin how my generation is reacting or absorbing all the information that is available on the net.
Yeah.
Kasi in their own little ways, they're doing something. I know a few friends who went to they do not use any single-use plastic na, and actually use yung mga straw na metal straws. And for me, those little things matter a lot. Kasi it starts with the small things lang naman, and then yun, it will create ripples, tapos makaka-inspire ka rin other people. But for me, I feel like winning this award is not giving me any value as a person. I don't want it to parang give myself so much value. It's more of giving value to the women in science and technology, and young women like me na who's trying to make a difference din. Kasi marami ring, sabi nga ni Sir Abe, marami rin hindi lang nabibigyang attention who's trying to make a difference also. But most importantly kasi, kapag naririnig kasi natin yung word na science and technology, usually what comes into mind is mga lalaki, di ba?
Or
Middle
square. O hindi man lalaki o babae, they think of people who are square. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
the doctors are here also. No, parang, di ba, parang they're not thinking out of the box. But then you're being awarded here now for your efforts that go beyond what is expected. So, but are you heavy on social media, Isabel?
I don't usually post on social media po because
See?
I'd like
You're
to give
different,
some...
no? You're different from all the people of your age. Pero yun nga, ano pa kaya if you are, no? But then, I guess you had all the time advocating for all these things because your focus really is into your apostolate.
Yes,
Your
I actually do speaking engagement with small groups. Usually
okay.
doon po ako talaga nagano, but with social media more on ano talaga pinapakita ko yung normal life na with friends,
Okay.
with family,
Okay.
but not
Okay.
more on with my advocacy. Parang for me kasi although social media is really helpful, parang may certain level of filter kasi yung social media. So I'd like it to be more genuine na
Okay.
talagang makausap mo yung mga tao and marinig nila sa'yo firsthand, not because sinabi ng social media na ganito ako, ganyan ako, but because they learned it from me and they listened from me firsthand. So
Ang
yun po.
galing. Let's go to the doctors now. Sir Jaime, ayan na. You're known in the cardiology department, no? But then how are you able to help the community with that expertise, sir? Parang given this award, no? What do you represent and how relevant is your intervention in your community now, lalo na now?
Okay. Pre-pandemic or during? Or maybe sige, pre-pandemic.
Ganda naman nun. Sir, I guess the JCs wanted a holistic thing even before. Parang dapat yung consistency, no? Before and after. Yeah, go.
Yeah, well, even before naman the pandemic, no? I mean, our role as a doctor, no? Talagang, I mean, hindi lang naman sa pandemic talaga. No? I started before, but again, I'm a cardiologist. I manage hearts.
Yes.
Heart attacks specifically, no? Well, for PGH at least, na the PGH community are our countrymen na who go to PGH. Na sila yung mga basically the underserved, no? Before, well, we used to manage heart attacks at a very, kumbaga, low tech. Kasi mahal yung mga gamit to manage a heart attack. I mean,
that's true.
Angioplasty for a heart attack, for example, would cost mga 300,000, for example.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's so hard for people to give you that money kaagad. No? I mean,
that's
yung
true.
So in PGH, well, for heart attacks, no, we made pathways. No, coordinated with mga Sagip Buhay, Pusong Pinoy. Those are kumbaga mga non-profit organizations that help the indigent, no, to streamline or to have a system on how to manage these heart attacks, no, at a very compassionate level. Talagang halos walang babayaran yung patient. And 2016 we were able to do that, and even during the pandemic we were able to do that. So well, that's one. During the pandemic,
Hindi ba kayo na-sidetrack during the pandemic? Kasi most people concentrated on COVID. Tapos kayo parang yung mga tao na may iba, like I'm taking maintenance medicine, pero parang never ako nakapunta sa hospital for a checkup during the whole pandemic. So paano yon?
So exactly. No? So during the pandemic, 2019 to 2020, nagbago yung lahat eh. Kahit cardiologist ka, dermatologist, surgeon, kahit admin ka, resident, student, talagang na-strip down kami. We were all, kumbaga, equals. Naging pantay-pantay kaming lahat.
That's true. Did you have an auxiliary office? Because some people, I know for a fact that here in Katipunan, may vacant lot dito. Parang they were avoiding hospitals. So ang mga consultations sa mga doctors, sir, nasa ibang site. Kasi natatakot yung mga tao pumunta sa hospital kasi baka magka-COVID sila. Did you have that also?
Well, different hospitals had different systems na, but for PGH, we had tents outside. And yung triage system, I mean, to triage kung sino yung may COVID and wala, nasa tents muna, and then may swabs. Fortunately, the administration was good, no? Kaya ang bibilis ng mga swab results namin. I think it was the fastest process in PGH in sa country. So, yeah, nagbago lahat. We were all doing the same thing. Kahit na
Yes.
specialty mo, pare-pareho, puro COVID. Even
Yes.
dermatologists nga pumapasok sa nag-hazmat. No?
Ang
So,
ganda
I
ng
mean,
ang ganda ng statement mo na parang pantay-pantay kayong lahat.
pantay-pantay. And
Nawala yung
it was really,
demarcation, no?
it was really the spirit of bayanihan. No? Yun yung theme namin sa PGH din. So, during the pandemic, kahit cardiologist ka, we were grounded. No? We were managing COVID, and yet we were still specialized, no, to
That's true.
heart attack patients with COVID. So parang lalo pa kaming napalo. Well, I mean, that was our job na. So I guess
I'll push lang the question. During that time, people were really eyeing on people in PGH to give us really expert advice on things, and you've done it well, no? I know your mga superiors there, but when there were bad calls in government, were you critical too during that time?
When there were what?
When there were really bad calls in the DOH, like kunyari, how did the people from PGH react during that time? How did you react during that time? Kasi kayo gusto nyo mapabilis, di ba, yung proseso at maging efficient. Parang ang dami taga PGH gusto pabilisin yung serbisyo at gawing mas efficient yung buong sistema. Parang gusto na lang namin sana kayo yung nag-take over during that time, pero mabait nga kayo. Sir, how were you during those times?
Okay, yung bad call, you mean yung may disagreement between decisions?
Yes. Yung parang sinasabi, di sila group chat during that time.
Yeah. Diba there was one time nga na one incident during the pandemic. I think it was the Delta wave or when the hospitals were getting overloaded again. Yung nag-aaway na yung private sector, yung government, and everyone. And the doctors were really calling for a timeout.
Yes.
No? Siyempre, biased ako, no? And I do agree kasi we were really overwhelmed ng time na yun. And talagang we really needed the timeout during that time. But of course,
were you vocal then, sir?
It's our societies were vocal for us, no? We belong to I belong to the Philippine College of Physicians, PGH in general. So our societies were very vocal for us. And I'm quite satisfied naman that there was really nag-communicate naman sila, no? And they really met the middle ground. Of course, kailangan mo rin naman mabalance yung gusto ng private sector and of course yung need ng mga healthcare workers at natin. And I think in the end, no, they were able to meet sa middle ground.
But thank you for being vocal. Kasi nga, another thing here. So we learned, number one, it's not about the award, it's about your service. Greatness would mean really representing your sector, diba? Parang standing for your sector and being vocal about what you feel is your field of expertise, no? Not only fighting for yourself, but speaking out really when it's needed. So that's something you did. Let's talk to Dr. Melvin. Dr. Melvin, during that time, ayan na, kung pwede kang mag-on, dapat binibigyan talaga kayo ng
Yes, sir.
Yan, okay, game ng subscription na magandang wifi. Pero Dr. Melvin, during that time, during COVID, did you speak up? Did you write articles, or were you vocal in your social media about the change that you would want or the kind of service parang the people parang needed?
Yes, sir. I was quite vocal on social media. Pero you know what I did? I really tried my best to not be
alarmist, I guess, no? Naghang siya bigla. Pero I guess that, no? Parang the doctors, Doc Jaime also, no? Should have a way of like appeasing people and making them feel that they're secure and they're okay.
I tried to make it just I'm recommending things, no? Pero hindi ko sinasabi na you made this mistake or whatever. So I try to put a positive, hopeful spin on my messages. Yeah.
Galing, no? So, TOYM awardees ought to be inspiring. So, sometimes may dissonance, but then in the end, you go for the common good, I guess. No? Parang you go where people can understand you more. I guess yung parang yung responsibility niyo talaga mga doctors was to be the explainers. para pakalmahin yung mga tao, no? With the knowledge that you have. Yan na, si Doc Melvin. Oh, Doc Melvin, sana mapagalaw niyo po yung baso. hindi, hindi, hindi yata. Well, while he's still fixing his signal, we have here on Zoom someone. Ayan, Doc Melvin, you're okay na? Ayan po. Ayan. Oh, nag-freeze siya ulit.
Pasensya na, sir.
Okay lang, okay lang.
Sobrang unstable.
Okay lang. Magpanilig tayo sa PLDT na na sponsor ng TOYM para bigyan kayo ng mas stable na But otherwise, what else? What more does this award mean to you and your profession? Oh, he's stuck. Anyway, I'll move on to the next one. Parang a familiar face kasi she's one of us. Well, also from the Ateneo, and parang when I ask around about her credentials, marami nang dun when I posted the thing about today, parang a lot of people were cheering her on. Ma'am Sabrina Ongkiko, good afternoon po. Ayan, handang-handa na kayo sa awarding ngayon. So,
yes,
all the other...
Hi, sir.
Good afternoon. So, ma'am, how did you feel about your award when you first learned about this? I know in Ateneo, you've been awarded naman by different institutions. But then how different is this one, the TOYM, compared to your Metro Bank and all the other awards?
Well, this one po is pretty special kasi my dad was nominated before nung time niya sa TOYM and he didn't get it. So, parang, but that never stopped him naman from teaching me what it means to serve, so parang in a way, parang nakabawi, di ba, yung dad ko. So, sobrang, actually, yung award means a lot to him. Kasi nga, parang anak, hindi ko yung nakuha dati, pero nakuha mo, parang ganun. So,
it's living his dream. No? It's living his dream. Yes. Parang si Isabel nga rin daw, yung dad niya yung nag-prod sa kanya para makuha niya to. Pero, grabe yung buhay mo. I've asked some people in Ateneo about your life too. You could have lived a very comfortable life, but you chose to teach in a public school?
Yes. I'm not, parang the way I look at it, hindi naman siya sobrang iba dun sa mga choices ko in life talaga. I think it's more surprising to people who don't know me. Kasi ang choice to become a public school teacher is being made every day by thousands of di ba, Filipino teachers. So it's not actually unique. What's unique is siguro parang the way people look at where I got my education and where I want to use it. That's the main difference, no? But otherwise, it's not really that unique, eh.
That's true. At palagi natin tinatanong, no, when you get into any job, para kanino at para saan? And the reason ought to be beyond ourselves, no? Parang so ang galing lang na that was your choice. And then in this sector, ma'am, the education sector, what do you represent now amongst all the other awardees? Kasi teacher din pala si Abe, no? At this point when there's no face-to-face classes, na ang sinasabi nga parang we're lagging behind, no? Kasi you're still an awardee during this pandemic. So paano po? Paano tayo makakaasa that there's still inspiration despite our parang we've reached a certain parang bump, no? Parang dun sa education sector.
Actually, siguro i-reframe ko po siya ulit, no, na hindi naman tayo maghahanap ng inspiration sa labas, eh. Yung everyday struggles, yung everyday trying to do the best for our students na mga Filipino teachers, that in itself, no, yung desire to make things better ngayong pandemic and even before that, that's already inspiring in itself. So, ako, ibabalik ko lang yung parang ang punto ng lahat ng ito ay yung mga estudyante, di ba? As long as there's a student who's willing to learn, we are here. So, dun tayo, parang, laging behind tayo, sige, tanggapin natin yan. Pero babalik ako dun sa, nasan ba yung mga estudyante natin ngayon? At paano natin sila maiaangat? So,
galing,
yun po yung ating point.
Paano nga natin sila iaangat ngayon? Now that they're starting face-to-face classes now, it's kind of hard. Sorry, I'm pushing the
Yeah.
Pero sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, parang wait and see ba yung intervention sa education, but kayo dire-diretso lang.
No, it should be nga active eh. We shouldn't wait and see. Parang yun yung idea.
That's
Parang
true.
in-imagine ko, we shouldn't ride the wave of change. We should
Ang
actually
galing.
take advantage of it, no? Kasi ang daming opportunity that alam ko maraming limitation, pero at the same time, there's a chance to renew some of the things that we got so used to that are wrong or parang hindi naman nag-work talaga, di ba? Parang so, there's that opportunity. And also, how do we work on it? Parang one thing I realized this pandemic is that we couldn't work alone. Like education sector couldn't work alone kasi learning is always affected by context, yung konteksto ng mga bata. And the context is affected by many things. Health, so nandito yung ating mga doctors, di ba?
Yes.
Science, information, media, di ba? So parang hindi siya, the more we realize that to move forward, we have to really work together. Yung different sectors. So sana mag-usap-usap. And that's what I'm trying to do, no? Beyond my duty as a teacher, I try to work with different sectors. No, I'm working with developmental pediatricians to work on the mental health of kids, diba?
Yes.
Trying to work with POH as well. Ganyan. Para health and education dapat magkasama yan, di ba? Plus the economic sector. Kailangan may jobs yung mga magulang nila dahil nawalan sila ng jobs. So, all of these things.
Ang galing lang, no? Parang that's another realization, and greatness would mean like all of you or most of you ought to be working together. Kasi yun na nakita nga natin na learning din sa pandemic na lahat magkakonekta, no? Parang lahat magkakaugnay. So, well, at least in TOYM, you're awarded with your different sectors and different categories. But then nakikita natin yung isang pagbubuo. Maganda yung balikan. So, Isabel, as the youngest here now, at naka-makeup ka na rin lang, unahin ka dun sa tanong, no? Are you learning because of the pandemic? Kasi your batch is contextualized there pa rin. Pandemic batch pa rin naman kayo. Kahit sabihin nilang patapos na, no? So, ano yung greatest learning natin sa pandemic na, well, na pwede nating gadalhin para akayin yung mga tao to, well, sabi nga, kailangan natin mag-level up lahat, no, after this whole thing, and we have to come back stronger. How will we come back stronger in your field and then vis-a-vis also the other fields in TOYM?
With science and technology po kasi talagang natigil kami sa with everything that we were doing because we needed face-to-face classes talaga. And even the graduate students who were doing their masters and like PhD, kailangan din sa field ko at least, kailangan din laboratory classes or they needed the laboratory to do what they were doing. Yeah. And actually doon lumabas yung medyo flaw sa educational curriculum natin and system natin, which is we weren't ready to shift from face-to-face to online classes. And it was made apparent by the numbers na nakita natin na a lot of children, a lot of college students also stopped their schooling kasi they didn't have the resources. Although yung mga schools weren't ready, may mga pili lang na schools and siguro mga nasa hindi nga aabot, hindi mauubos yung 10 fingers natin sa mga schools na ready for high flex. And honestly, with science and technology and also the educational system, like sinabi ni Ms. Sab kanina, the Philippines should by now be ready for things like this.
Yes.
And moving forward, siguro talaga hindi na mababalik yung normal na face-to-face talaga everything. So we have to incorporate na online classes and siguro taasan din yung budget for the educational system para makabigay tayo ng resources for those who can't afford it talaga.
That's true. Yun, Ma'am Sab din, no? Parang ang dami ring gains dun sa online education na, well, science really needs that practicum part, no? Marami rin yung mga taga-probinsya na hindi na kailangan pumunta sa city, dito or sa Maynila para matuto. I think parang kailangan yata i-sum up lahat ng learnings during the pandemic, tapos tingnan kung ano yung mag-work. But I think we're on that early stage pa rin kasi parang experimental pa rin yung pagpunta sa school, no? I know there are a lot of people kasi second year na ng college pero hindi pa rin nakakatungtong to sa actual campus nila. So, yun yung pagkakaiba. Any other learning? So, well, let's go to the other professor here. Sir Abe, ano pa yung learning sa education sector na after the pandemic, paano natin ikakasa para mag-level up ba? Ano yung mga natutunan natin?
Sorry, sir. During the start of the pandemic, we're having a hard time. Then, particularly, dahil we have to adjust with the system. We have a platform in Binil. We're using Big Sky. Doon namin ina-upload lahat ng aming mga modules, and that's
very unique. That's very unique kasi I have professors of Binil, sila Direct Joey Reyes, na dalawang klase, no? Nag-lecture na sila sa Zoom, tapos after nun, tinitape nyo pa yung sarili nyo. Parang nirecord nyo pa yung sarili nyo para may access yung mga taong hindi nakasama dun sa Zoom na yon.
What I am doing, totoo yan, sir. We're recording ourselves technically during the session kasi not every time everyone can attend. Not everyone have a good internet access. So yung iba hirap na hirap talaga. Like yung iba we're stayed in the provinces, so yung internet connection nila napakahirap. But on my part, because I'm teaching studio subjects, so I have to do the talagang overall parang sabihin natin nagja-juggle talaga ako because I'm doing live demonstrations. So naka-top cam ako, and then like for example, I'm doing animatics or I'm doing a drawing session. So I have to starting from this and then from that. Napakadali siguro ituro sa physical classes because you have a general way of teaching this, and then you could just call the students one by one, and then you evaluate their work, and then you could suggest. And then yung kagandahan kasi ng physical classes is different because everyone can gather around you and then maiintindihan nila. Pero ito, isa-isa mo siyang i-evaluate. Ang hirap dahil iba't iba yung needs ng bawat student, particularly with drawing and then painting and then design subjects. Hindi mo siya masasabi yung skill level hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na hindi siya raw score lang na parang we're using the rubrics, but yung rubrics na yun is ang hirap pa rin i-define, particularly with this kind of blended learning. Ang hirap siya, sir. But my experience is tuwang-tuwa yung mga students ko siguro sa pagkaklase ko because most of the time, sir, do we have classes today? We miss your demonstration. So ilang classes na yung
they look forward to it.
Natutuwa naman ako. So I think I'm satisfied and then masaya ako dahil in a way, naging hero ako para sa mga bata. Ang nakakamiss nga lang, binibiro ko sila, prosh kayo. Siguro, ilang taon pa tong pandemic. Sabi ko, hindi man lang kayo nakatapak sa Binil. Sabi, wag naman daw ako mag-job.
Totoo yun. Pero grabe yung skills nyo, no? Parang as teachers, hindi lang yung knowledge, pero yung skills nyo, even technically, recording yourselves, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Parang nag-multitasking din lahat. So, Grabe, parang ang daming pivot ba, ang daming pinuntahan ng mga at natuklasang mga skills na napalawig pa lalo because of the pandemic. Now we talk to the doctors naman. Sir, docs, paano ba to nasantabi na natin yung surge, pag-usapan natin yung surge. Where are we headed to? Are we like institutionalizing the learnings that we had during this pandemic, or Sir Jaime, Dr. Jaime, and Dr. Melvin, do you see yourselves working with DOH after this administration? Parang would you want that? Para mapanghawakan natin yung mga natutunan natin? Sir Doc Gabe.
Dr. Melvin, do you want to answer first?
Yes, Jaime, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Ayun, habang okay yung internet mo.
Yeah.
Actually, stable talaga.
Para kayo papasa kayong magkapatid talaga. Go.
So to answer your question, sir, I think madaming lessons pero ang fear ko is makakalimutan after a few years. Kasi dito naman talaga tayo, 'di ba? We learn something after 4 or 5 years, feeling natin wala na. Ang gusto ko sana is this is something that we will really internalize as a global community, not just the science and medical community pero lahat. I mean, we had SARS and MERS in 2002 and
Yes.
2012.
Yes.
Pero hindi natin masyado inintindi kasi it just affected specific countries in the world, di ba?
Yes.
And hindi tayo affected. So hopefully with this na buong mundo affected, sana ito mas maaalala natin.
Oo nga eh. So, how do we institutionalize the learnings ngayon, Doc? Kasi napalungkot mo naman ako kasi parang ang dami nating pagkakamali na nauulit sa history din, di ba? Dahil hindi natin, well, number one, hindi natin document. At yun, probably in Ateneo Sab, dapat talaga may action, reflection, action. Pero tayo, napapako tayo sa action, action, action. Wala na yung the reflection part and the eventual parang resolution on things, no? Sir Jaime, yan na. Do you see yourself working in government and being DOH chief after?
Alam mo, naghang na naman si Sir Melvin na but I'll take over for him. I won't answer the DOH question, but I do work in the government. I do have an item in the government, and that's DOH, and I'm happy where I am. So just to follow through with Dr. Melvin's, now we keep forgetting our past experiences and how to document this. One way to document it is through research, no? And that's what I'm very passionate about. When we started the pandemic, no, talagang hindi namin alam kung paano i-manage itong COVID na to. And what we had to do was we relied on the literature from SARS from years ago. No, I mean more or less the mechanisms, management-wise, there are some similarities, no, because they're viruses. So we had to rely on research documented before through SARS during SARS, and that's what I'm very passionate about now. No, na we have to document these things. People may say na yung research on COVID nalalaos na dahil patapos na daw yung pandemic. But I always say, years from now, our kids will be facing more pandemics. And ang kita nila talaga na yung research from the past, research during our experience. And that will really help them a lot, no? What else? No, learning during this pandemic. Ako na one very practical learning during this pandemic is itong Zoom na to. Nakakatawa. Diba? Parang nung nagka-Zoom, parang inisip ko, bakit ngayon lang natin ito na-discover?
That's true.
Laking tulong na, no? But from a personal note, no, I think one of my learnings talaga from this pandemic is really the true essence of a health worker. Not just a doctor, but a health worker. No? Kasi during the start talaga, we were really faced with a tough decision. No? Kung ano ba yung gusto mong role during this pandemic. Do you want to go in the wards? Do you want to stay home, do research? Do you want to be in the... No, yun talaga yung kumbaga tough decisions that we had to make during the start, no? And in the end, it was really, kumbaga yung genuine desire to serve was really at the heart of the healthcare workers, no?
Thank you. But can I confirm also, totoo ba na maraming mga seniors, yung mga boss na doon sa mga hospitals, doon sila nag-leave? And then they pass on the reins to the younger doctors to go on duty. Nangyayari po na talaga yon?
Well, it did happen sa simula, no, because a lot of the seniors had comorbids. But magugulat ka na ang dami pa rin seniors na katabi mo sa loob ng wards, no?
Ang galing.
In one hospital na, yung department head namin talagang katabi mo kapila mo sa shower room.
That's true. It's leadership by example, no? Talaga
Very admirable, no? And dun nga papasok yung talagang naging pantay-pantay lahat, kahit na senior ka, kahit na batang-bata ka, we were all doing the same things.
Ang galing.
And it was very admirable for a lot of the seniors din, no?
Ang galing. Sir, I just had to ask this, no, para of all of you, no? Looking back at, everything, the challenging times in your profession, in your fields, no? What can you say was the best lesson learned dun sa field niyo po? And then, paano nyo na-overcome yon? At ano yung learning? Isabel, before you leave, ayan na. Umalis na siya. Nako, malayo siguro. Anyway, so can you tell us yung sa field ninyo, ano yung pinakagrabing challenge or hurdle na-hurdle nyo, at ano yung realization and learning that came out of it that you can share to the people? Abe, go.
Yung tropeo, sir, na matatanggap namin mamaya with TOYM, masasabi kong it's just an award. I mean, di ko sinasabing TOYM lang yan. Actually, once in a lifetime. Kaya lang, if I will rest on my laurels, parang nagtapos na yun. Kasi ang buhay at ang singing, constant na pag-aaral, parang buhay. So, hanggang kaya kong mag-contribute sa sangkatauhan through my expertise, gagawin ko talaga, lalo sa kabataan. Kasi unang-una, bilang guro din, kung makakapag-create ako ng bagong apo, yun yung best experience na pinakamasarap para sa akin. Kasi at the end of the day, yung knowledge na ipasa mo, it's passing up the torch. That's the most important thing for every teacher or an educator. Hindi ko sinasabing sa mga students ko, ganyan ako, ganito ako. Kasi nagmumukhang mayabang. Magugulat na lang sila, ay ganyan pala si sir, ganyan pala si sir. May mga, tapos magugulat na lang sila. Pero at the end of the day, natutuwa sila kasi sabi ko nga sa mga students ko pag tinatanong, how old are you, sir? Sabi ko, I'm 19. So, na-strap na ako sa 19. I'm even handling an organization, students or art organization that, to be modest enough, kinreate nila dahil sa akin because they're missing my lessons when they were freshman students. So, they created until now, ginagawa nila. Tapos, nanganganak yung yung pagmamahal sa traditional arts kasi that everything now is done digitally most of the time. Kaya lang kung maganda yung pundasyon mo sa fundamentals, napakaganda nun. Tapos hindi lang ko sila tinitrain dyan. We have several projects like prior to the pandemic, actually, sir, muntik pa kami matrap ng lockdown. We were in general na Carcassonne before the start of the pandemic. I mean, alam na namin yung merong pandemic, kaya lang tinuloy pa rin namin yung project together with the IT groups. So we painted paaralan ng mga agta, a mural project in general na Carcassonne. Tapos biglang nagpa-lockdown na si President Duterte the next day. So sabi ko, kung nagstay pa tayo ng isang araw na lockdown tayo, hindi ko alam kung paano ko kayo pauuwiin. Sabi ko, baka patayin ako ng mga magulang nyo. Tapos tawa sila ng tawa. But at the end of the day, masaya kaming lahat. Ayun.
And the art piece installation, the mural stays there, no? As a testament of what you've done during the pandemic. I have to segue to this question also. You're now being looked up to in your field, no, because of this award. Pero in your field, who do you look up to?
Sir, marami akong nilook up talaga.
Parang yun yung idol mo rin naman. Kasi ngayon, ina-idolize na kayo. No? And why? Ano yung trait or ano yung character ng isang taong pinahangaan nyo naman? Dahil kayo hinahangaan naman kayo.
Siguro, sir, ayoko magbanggit ng person, pero unang-una makabayan. Napaka-importante nun. And then, pangalawa, talagang totoo siya sa ginagawa niya. Kasi kung sasabihin natin nakakapagod yung ginagawa mo, basta passionate ka doon, hindi ka mapapagod. Hindi mo mararamdaman yung parang nahihirapan ka. Kasi fulfillment yung makapagpinta ka nga lang. Unang-unang sinasatisfy namin sarili namin. Pangalawa, syempre, yung makapagbigay kami ng kasiyahan sa tao. Particularly in this troubled time. So, yung part dito ng speech ko dati.
Yung saya na yun, parang it's really more conscientization more than just, di ba, yung fun. Hindi lang fun.
Yes, sir. Yung reward nun, yung talagang makapag-contribute ka. Lalo nga, maligalig yung mundo natin ngayon. So,
Correct.
Be the light.
Correct.
Yun lang. In your own field.
I'll go to you, Sab. In your field, for example, who do you look up to and why? Kasi kayo iniidolo kayo ngayon, no? But what kind of character do you look up to or parang do you admire? Sino yung mga samples mo dun sa field mo?
Siyempre, kasi pag teacher, I mean, marami tayong teachers sa buhay na hindi lang naman formal teacher, di ba? So, syempre, my parents taught me talagang what it means to be Filipino, to serve, ganyan. Pero alam niyo po, sir, yung mga mentors ko sa Ateneo showed me what it means to take care of another person, di ba? Cura personalis. Sobrang, ang swerte-swerte ko sa mga mentors na dumaan sa buhay ko, whether parang hindi mo sinasadyang napili mo sila maging mentor or pinili ka nila na alagaan. Parang nahiya lang ako. Halimbawa, Sir Bobby Guevara would listen to my stories kahit rants na siya. So feeling ko wala akong karapatang hindi makinig sa mga estudyante ko dahil pinapakinggan ako eh. So ganun. So yeah, parang mentors and parents, ganyan.
Totoo yun. And parang those people who go beyond just the lectures, huh? Just the knowledge, but those people who affect you in your life decisions, yun yung tatama din sa'yo. But what has been the most challenging hurdle or thing that you've surmounted or you've overcome in academe? Okay ka ba
over the past?
Oo. Okay ka ba sa politics ng academe? Kasi kahit sa namang field may politika, no? But the politics of academe is, di ba, earning more degrees, di ba? Ganyan yan. And publishing more. Ano yung pinakamalaking or lack of resources, I guess, lalo na pag medyo nangangailangan yung school. Ano yung pwede mo masabi na lumabas yung what you represent? Anong turning point?
Yung actually, pagka iniisip kong pinakamahirap sa pagiging isang public school teacher, lalo na kasi marami kong estudyante na galing na talaga sa hirap, ay yung lack of sense of control. Kasi parang kung pagtuturo lang ang kailangan kong gawin, kaya yun eh, di ba? Kaya kong ayusin, pagturo, aralin ko to, I want to be better. Pero there are so many factors that are out of my control that affects my student. Gutong sila pumapasok, nag-away magulang nila, sinasaktan siya, di ba? Inaabuso. Parang all of these things, labas na to sa kaya ko. Saluhin. And with 40 students or kung ika-gather ko lahat ng mga estudyante ko sa iba-ibang section, 200 students a day. Di ba? Parang, and I have to take note of that kasi ang punto ko, kahit nangyayari to sa kanila, paano sila matututo? And that's really, really difficult.
That's true. So parang yun nga, parang you just have to step up and level up as a teacher, and then eventually para kang sponge. ikaw yung nag-absorb ng lahat na yun at iniintindi mo yung konteksto nilang lahat. So that makes you also admirable. Doc, kayo naman po. Who do you look up to in your field, Doc Jaime? You've really very good teachers there. So si Sir Gap Legaspi and then, di ba, parang kakaiba, no? Ako nung nakita kong nagpabakuna siya ng isang bakuna na talagang kailangan niyang ipakita na, okay, I'm serving a certain purpose and inspiring all of you para encouraging all of you to take the vaccine. Kakaibang kind of leadership yon. In your field, sino sir yung who do you look up?
Well, in my field, ang dami kasi talaga, no? I mean, it's very hard to pinpoint. I think all my teachers have been an inspiration to me. I mean, kung ano ako ngayon, no, it's a little piece, no, it's a little bit of everything from everyone na naging buo into me. So it's very hard to identify.
I wanna push you lang. Were you in that era where you wanted terror teachers, or you were already in that era when you wanted teachers who will you be befriending tapos mas open ka to learning? That's another thing for Sab, no? Parang saan mas natututo yung mga tao ngayon pag natatakot ba or yun na terror or yung nagiging mas kaibigan niya, sir?
Ang hirap sagutin, but wala bang in the middle? Pero hindi ko papapiliin mo ako dun sa dalawa.
Totoo rin naman.
I'd rather be in the latter. I think si Ma'am Sab ganun. I'd rather choose the latter na yung medyo mas nagiging kaibigan mo, very approachable. I think that's personally that's where I learn more kapag nalalapitan yung prof, natatanong ko, or approachable people rather than magaling nga pero nakakatakot, hindi mo naman ma-approach. Ako, I'm that type na mas gusto ko na nalalapitan ko eh.
That's good. That's good. So, and sir, yun nga, parang, sino pa kung sa ibang field naman, kasi di ba ang daming lumabas sa mga doctors using social media during the time, no? during our pandemic. Meron bang nag-step up na sinabi niyo, okay, nakita mo yung sarili mo beyond yung call ng duty? Kasi di ba part of your being inspirations and heroes is hindi lang nakulong ba dun sa pangangailangan, dun sa call ng trabaho ninyo. Meron bang ganon na particularly nag-explore ba yung limits ng pagiging doktor?
The question is, one doctor influencer?
May not be a person or anong mga doktor or anong klase yung nabalitaan nating mga doktor, nabalitaan nyo na parang kino-consider nyo na may strength ng character na nag-step up during the pandemic?
Well, again, parang pare-pareho lahat na everyone did their part, no? And I'm not really a fan of social media. Like Angel kanina, rather touch heart at an individual or a personal level and touch hearts literally, no? Ano ba? Ang hirap sagutin, no? Kung if you were to make me choose or to identify a person. A little bit of something from everything din talaga like sila Dr. Liechon, Dr. Salvania. I mean, those things na you read sa social media, very helpful. Karamihan, no? It's very hard for me to...
Pero ang ganda ng sinabi nyo kanina about research. Ang ganda ng sinabi nyo about research. I've always wondered why we never came up with the vaccines that are locally manufactured. Di ba? Parang yun, even the test kits during that time, we were thinking, kaya naman ng Pinoy. Pero parang bakit hindi na pupush? Yun talaga. And part of it, sa sinabi na rin ni Sir Abe, no? Part of your being awarded now is that having the heart for our countrymen, for the Filipinos. So yun yung mahalaga. We have to welcome on the Zoom si Sir Aris Asilio, who's being awarded for social entrepreneurship. Hello, naka-costume na siya sa picture niya at mukhang ayos na rin siya para sa awards. Ayan na, wala na. Talo na po tayong lahat. May nanalo na sa best in costume mamaya sa awarding ninyo. Sir Aris, yun, I've asked them those questions already about yung TOYM, kung kinareer nyo ba yan talaga or chamba. And then second, what the award represents and what it means to you. And then pangatlo, I guess, what kind of inspiration do you serve our countrymen who are like looking up to you now? Yun na tatlo na, and then you can like answer that coherently and extensively too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Sir Noel, and so all the radyo-katipunan listeners, and to my fellow honorees here. Good afternoon.
And the Banawi Rice Terraces at your back. Is it the Banawi Rice Terraces?
It's in Mount Apo, one of our coffee farms. Yes, sir. It's okay, sir. To answer, sir, the number one about the TOYM. Actually, I declined the nomination 3 times. So I really, it was not originally on my goal. Because I felt I was short of being awarded TOYM. But then so many chapters believe in me, so I find.
Oh my God, you're stuck there at Mount Apo. Nako, I'll talk to Sir Manny Pangilinan to really give you better internet access. Lahat kayong mga TOYM awardees kasi sponsor nyo nga yung PLDT. Now we go to another one. Well, mas napapanahon, I guess. In a few days, well, not a few days, probably 30 days, we're having one very important exercise, electoral exercise. And how do you think your sector is affected by it? Sir Abego, gaano kayo apektado ngayon ng political exercise at gaano ka-relevant yun sa inyo bilang isang artist at bilang isang guro? Ano yung halaga ng ating electoral exercise?
Unang-una, sir, yung mga artist kasi masasabi nating may iba't iba rin kaming gusto na mga kandidato, 'di ba? And then yung iba nilalagay sa kanilang mga sining o sa kanilang mga arte yung yung kanilang pagpapahayag. Bukod sa pananalita, minsan sa kanilang pagpipinta, sa pagguhit. Apektado yung sector ng art and culture industry bago pa naman mag-pandemic. May roots yan kasi unang-una yung support ng gobyerno talaga, I mean not any specific government, ay
sa art
talagang,
sector, no? Totoo.
Sa art sector, mahirap. In fact, kaya nagso-survive ang art industry sa Pilipinas ay napakalaking tulong ng mga private institutions. And then yung help ng mga museums, pero kung isipin mo yung museums ay umaasa lang sa donations, and then of course yung mga uma-attend sa kanila. So that's the very hard thing. And then when the COVID-19 came to happen, so talagang totally affected kami, lalo yung mga artists. Paano yung mga artists na walang gallery na nag-handle sa kanila? So na-magnify yung nila, siguro yung mga hinaing nila, yung mga gusto nilang sabihin.
That's true.
Marami ako talagang nakikita, yung iba talagang hindi mo maiwasan magalit sila. Bakit? Maraming namatay sa industriya namin kasi hindi sila makatanggap ng ayuda. Bakit? Unang-una, rin sila iba self-employed. Oo, anong sector sila, kasi self-employed sila, 'di ba? So minsan yung iba walang mga papeles na para patunayan na artist ako. Yung iba naman nga matatawa ka, long hair, balbasarado, tapos hindi makapasok ng bangko, naka-receive ng pera. Bakit? Kasi kaduda-duda yung personalidad sa yung mga tipong gano'n na naka-apekto, 'di ba? Lalo na darating ang eleksyon, 'di ba? So mas naging na magnify. So marami talaga tayong artists kagaya yung mga paggawa ng murals, that's common thing, yung mga protesta.
Yes.
It always happen all the time. Kahit sinuunang panahon pa, isa sa mga highlights yan kahit ng French Revolution, 'di ba? Napakalaking contribution ng mga artists sa
yung mga pangarap natin at yung mga hangarin natin para sa bayan. Nasa art nilalabas, 'di ba? So
nasa art, sir.
Yung mga tula. Pero pagdating ng election, kayo yung huling. After the elections, actually, kayo yung least prioritized kasi unahin nila muna yung politika at economic, no? So parang not knowing that culture and the arts is really the heart of the Filipino, no? So tama ka naman na mahalaga so sa'yo para mahalaga yung election, para rin to ask for the leaders' plans for arts and culture, no? And even education for that matter.
Yes, sir. But ako bilang artist, personally, with critical care. I'm criticizing dahil parang yung sinabi ni Doc Melvin. So nagbibigay lang ako ng mga pointers. Hindi ako yung tipong attack ng atake lang ng atake. Kasi unang-una, bilang isang guro, may rin ako may responsibilidad din ako sa mga estudyante. Hindi lahat madadisect o maiintindihan ng sinasabi mo. Hindi nila alam kung paano ano yung pinaghuhugutan mo, ano yung pinanggagalingan mo. Kung babasahin lang nila yon sa isang konteksto o sa isang version lang, baka pwedeng ma-mislead sila. So, kung gumagawa man ako ng mga panulat, it's more on a balanced way of saying and then suggesting. So, for me, it's the art of critical care.
Pero ang galing nga ng mga artists kasi pwede kayong maging matapang. Kayo yung naunang naging matapang kasi hindi niyo hiharap yung mukha niyo.
Si Jose Rizal, sir, isang example na lang. He's an artist.
That's true.
He's a sculptor, he's a painter, and then he's a writer. He's an artist.
Ang tapang ng mga artists kasi sila yung unang nagsasabi ng realidad. Pero yun na nga, parang ang swerte rin lang kasi nga hindi nakaharap yung mukha. Yung mga tao sa media, for example, sila yung medyo may takot kasi pwede silang patayin, pwede silang takutin. So yun, ang galing lang kasi ayun, nakakahawa yung takot, pero nakakahawa rin yung tapang. Yun yung sinasabi nila. And the artists have shown that. Sab, ikaw, ano yung pakiramdam ngayon dun sa darating na political exercise sa schools, lalo na it could have been easier to organize people, no? To like tell them about the real issues had they been there in the classes. But now, online kasi yung iba pa rin, hindi pa rin bumabalik sa eskwelahan. Pero do people realize how important the political exercise is?
Sana. Medyo natatakot ako kasi yung mga nababasa kong naniniwala sila sa disinformation, sa misinformation, medyo red flag yun sa akin, no? Pero
That's true.
sobrang...
And part of it is in your textbook, no? Parang nakita ko yung Rappler issue ngayon, talagang really naka-incorporate dun sa educational system. Di ba yung disinformation, misinformation?
And meron na yung checking. Meron na siyang, parang kumbaga chinek na siya supposedly. So, parang patong-patong na mali, di ba, dun sa education system. So, marami talagang tatrabahuhin. Pero may isa lang po akong dadagdag dun sa bakit importante itong election na to sa edukasyon. Sobrang alarming po actually ng data, no? NEDA has a research study on the economic loss, yung impact ng school closures on economic loss. Sobrang 11 trillion ata yung nawala, no? O yung parang talo natin dahil sa school closures. And paano natin yung babawiin? At kung ang presidente natin na susunod ay hindi marunong kung paano ito gagawin sa edukasyon, di ba? Ano yung learning pathways, hindi lang para sa mga bata sa basic education, pero sa college. At yung mga magre-retrain. Kasi may mga nawalan ka ng trabaho, di ba? At hahanap sila ng bagong trabaho. How do you retrain your workers para makakuha sila ng jobs? That's part of education, di ba? Learning pathways. So sana pinagdadasal ko na yung mapiling presidente isang education president also. Yung may alam siya, kung hindi siya masyadong gamay niya yun, magkonsulta din siya. Yung marunong siyang magtanong sa mga eksperto at makinig sa eksperto, di ba? Kasi kung hindi, lalo pa tayong aatras. Talo na nga tayo ngayon eh. Bilang tayo yung huling bansa na nagbukas ng mga paaralan. Talo na tayo. Diba? Paano pa tayo uusad kung yung pinuno natin ay hindi maalam. So sana pinagdadasal ko ay mamili talaga ng mabuti ang mga Pilipino sa iboboto nilang presidente. Napakahalaga po.
Grabe na lahat tayo ng dasal pare-pareho. Doc, kayo po. Well, you're kind of polarized too because as the entire nation is, no? But how do you do that in your field at this point?
Okay. Well, for one, medyo taboo yung politics na yan when especially in the workplace. We don't usually talk about it. You know naman where yung mga point of view ng mga tao through social media. I mean, they have different outlets. But at the workplace, we're very civil. If there's one thing that came out from the pandemic is nakita natin lahat ng weaknesses dun sa healthcare system natin. We were not ready for this pandemic. And I don't think we will ever be, or at least the next few years. No. So if you're asking me how important itong elections na dadating, I think for the healthcare workers, for the healthcare system of the country, I think choosing the right people in office is very, very crucial during this time. Nakita na nga natin lahat ng weaknesses and we want someone who will address these things because COVID will not go away in the next few years. It will be here to stay. We have to learn to live with it. And we have to have a good leader to guide us.
That's true. And a good systems person, no? Who has the heart. Kasi if you have lalo na, damang-daman nyo yung PhilHealth na issue, lahat yung Pharmaly na issue, parang, well, we need a really good leader to like usher us out of that. Yung tipong, and then, well, probably, yung merong sound consultation, tama yung sinabi ni Sab, no, of the data on the ground and who listens to the experts. I guess that, and I hope people, hindi ko alam yung disinformation kung paano nag-work sa inyo. Sa inyo po ba sa health sector, uso pa rin ba yun yung disinformation?
I think it's more for the, I mean, lahat ng mga, very young ako na. So, I mean, lahat naman yung mga tao na buhay na nung panahon na pinapag-usapan ninyo nila Sab kanina, but I think it's more for the young ones, for the younger generation. Not so much in terms of the health.
Kasi
I
yata
think.
sa inyo talaga, mag-fact check kayo talaga, no?
Yes,
Bago,
yes.
bago lumabas ang isang medical bulletin. No, Aris, go. Even if you don't open your camera na lang para mas okay yung signal mo. So, those questions earlier and how important is the political exercise, the elections, for people like you also in social entrepreneurship?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sir Noel. I think hopefully okay na yung signal ko. Well, yeah,
Yes,
as I
yes.
said,
Hindi ka
mentioned,
lang namin
sinasabi ko po
makikita with your
kanina
costume.
na, yes, sir. I actually, this is not my goal. I actually declined the nomination 3 times. So, because I felt I was short of being chosen as a TOYM. So,
Wow. Even without your image, naghang ka ulit. Naku, Aris.
signal.
Oh, yan. Game. Yan, go.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah. So I think this award is meant for what we do in the coffee and agriculture sector, especially the indigenous people in Mindanao. So nakita niyo po kanina yung background. So that's basically what we're doing.
That's true.
Yeah. And then, sir, for the political exercise, I try my best to be as understanding in our political landscape as possible. Because primarily, what would entrepreneurship, economic empowerment, and politics be to the expense of peace? Kasi based on my going to the grassroots, they need foods on the table. They need foods to work. And paano pa kung gumanda man ang buhay nila, ba't nag-aaway-aaway? Tapos nag-aagawan sila sa yaman ng lupa o What would entrepreneurship be kung mamamatay din naman sila, kung mawawalan tayo ng peace? It's very important to look at the lens of peace, especially pag pinag-uusapan natin ang pagkain, pinag-uusapan natin yung livelihoods. So I as much as possible, I really veer away from talking too much politics because it doesn't help the grassroots. What I really love to talk about is how do we bring the foods on the table, and how do we encourage them, to empower themselves, that they can dream, that they can do as much as possible. Yun yung nawawala yung mga harapan. Kasi natatabunan tayo the boses nila natatabunan ng mas maiingay na boses sa social media or sa news. We can no longer hear them. So I think it's very important to represent them, their voices.
That's good. And that's what you're representing now with your batch at TOYM. No? So it's really back to basics. It's really back to basic needs and basic values, I guess, no? And basic character that we need as well, not only individuals, but as a nation. So final words. Well, of course, I have to set you free because you're going now to your awarding, Abe. Leave us with some inspiring words before we end this conversation. At this point, yun na nga palaging tinatanong, no? Ano yung bisa na bigyan ka ng parangal? At yung sabi mo nga, at yung parangal na yun, inaalay mo hindi lang. Yung mga sana mo, gusto kong ma-articulate mo yung sana mo para sa sarili mo, sa sektor mo, at para sa bayan. So, you wanna hear your final message covering covering all those levels.
Unang-una, sa sarili ko, it will inspire me more to do more good.
That's true.
Naniniwala ko na maganda yung ginagawa ko dahil isa nga ito sa mga paraan kung bakit ako nanalo ng TOYM. Though I'm not expecting anything from this, sir, yun. Kasi nga sabi ko, kagaya ni Aris, I really refused and several times with this award. Talagang pinush lang ako ng mga higher ups ko.
Okay yan.
Sa edukasyon, unang-una, dahil yung mga bata naglo-look after you, di ba? You will never know kung ano yung mangyayari sa future nila.
That's true.
Kasi magkakaiba rin kayo ng ng field na pupuntahan kahit may the same courses pa kayo, or at the end of the day, importante lang maging inspiration ka sa time na magkakasama kayo. So it's living at the moment. Yeah. And then sa art naman, isang karangalan to. Unang-una, sinasabi ko, marami pang magagaling sa akin. Pero nirepresent ko sila, yung batches ko, dahil, ayun nga sir, mayabang man pakinggan, isa ako sa mga hybrid na artist kasi I can teach, I can paint, and then I can write. I do cultural works. I mean, bibihira lang kami sa ganitong hindi po lahat nagagawa to. Yung iba nagpipinta lang, yung iba talagang ang gusto lang nila ay mag-curate or magturo lang. Yung iba hindi na ginawang magpinta na nandoon na lang sa academe. I'm not saying anything against that.
Okay.
Ang sinasabi ko lang ay ang kagandahan siguro ng pagiging hybrid is nandoon ka sa industriya, na ipapasa mo sa mga estudyante mo at na ibibigay mo sa kanila kung ano yung kinakailangan nila. So hindi lang ako siguro nakatali sa isang libro. So theory and practice. That's all I could say. And then yun, maraming salamat talaga.
Congratulations. Yan ang maganda, no? Maganda na parang tayo nabibigyan ng pagkakataon para maging hybrid. Yun yung term, para mag-multitask at yun, palabas yung husay. At yun, we saw that our fields are interconnected. Let's go! Para bago mawala rin ulit yung signal. Can you tell us your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations more for yourself, for the community, and for the country? And leave us with an inspiring message now that people look up to you as an inspiration.
Yeah, I always say to the people that it is by helping others that we will find ourselves, help ourselves, and love ourselves. The magic of helping others, ito kasi yung magtutuloy na magandang bukas para sa bagong henerasyon. Napaka-importante na nakikita natin, naririnig natin yung boses nila. I really, for the last 30 years, since I started working at the age of 6, so doon ko na-realize na mas mahalaga makinig sa boses ng iba. Kasi we cannot be drowned of our own voice. We have to listen to their voices so that we will be able to listen to ourselves as well. It's very important. My dream is to have a better future, to have more.
Oh, pinapakinggan ka pa naman ni Dr. Jaime. Kasi dire-diretsong yung ang yung speech. Aris, go. Your final words. Oh, we lost him already. Doc, ikaw na. I know you were kind of animated in your reaction to him kasi medyo bilang bata talagang grabe yung fervor, no? Grabe yung intensity. But you're looking at it at the different lens now, no? But still with excellence and passion. Sir, what will maybe your message, as in your hopes and the inspiration that can leave us with your dreams for yourself, for the community, and for the country.
Okay, so well, first and foremost, thank you for having us.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Thank you.
Being TOYM or being recognized as a TOYM in my field is very difficult, no? Kasi I think trabaho namin magsilbi or to help the people, to serve, to care for the sick. That's inherent in our job. No, so I really don't want to make this TOYM about me, but I think it should be what I represent.
That's true.
I think it should be for the young, aspiring, very.
You'll be part of it still. The young part is you're still part of the young.
Young pa ako. Young pa ako for a cardiologist. I'm quite young. I'm 38 pala. So I think this award should represent the young, aspiring doctors who do well in their jobs and who want to do more. As long as you have the genuine desire to help people, to serve patients, whoever, kahit sino man sila, no, I think you'll do well. You'll achieve. You'll reach your dreams, no.
So, doing more and being more.
Doing more. Yun nga, kung bata ka, you have more time to do more. So I think that's one of the thrusts of the TOYM. Kaya nga young, no, bata kami, and we have the responsibility to do more, and we have the opportunity to do more. So I think
that's yung magic word doon, no? Parang doing more for others, but less and less for yourselves.
Yes.
It's losing yourself. But congratulations, Doc.
Thank you, Sir Noel.
And this whole session with some inspiring words from an educator like you. Your hopes for yourself, your community, and our country. And then how important is this whole exercise given that you've gotten a lot of awards already?
Sorry, sir. Sa akin na yun, no? Kasi nagtatansya lang ako, biglang nawawala yung audio ko.
Oh, nga.
Yes, give us proper Wi-Fi.
Yes,
Pero sa akin lang po, parang being outstanding isn't the goal. Diba? Parang hindi yun yung ginugol mo. Parang I think we are responding to something bigger than us. That's why parang it's up to people to call that outstanding. Yun lang kasi yung alam ko eh. Alam ko lang naman kasi may pangangailangan at binibigay ko lahat para mag-respond sa pangangailangan na yun. At siguro ngayong pandemic po, no, madaling ma-stuck sa sarili nating bubble kasi we have every reason to say na pwede naman hindi ako tumulong eh. Mental health, di ba? Pwede naman talagang maiwan sa sarili nating bubble. Pero yung tawag ng pagpapakatao ay higit dun sa pangangailangan lang para sa sarili natin eh. 'Di ba? Yung tawag ng pagpapakatao, yung hindi mo matitiis kapag may nangangailangan na kapwa Pilipino na kailangan mo mag-respond in whatever way. It doesn't have to be in a big way, 'di ba? Na kailangan buong yung sectoral, 'di ba? Pero even just around you, no, parang yun nga eh, the way I see like itong award na to, parang if we cannot make other Filipinos or fellow Filipinos outstanding as well, then hindi ba? So parang ang award na ito ay isang honor, but at the same time it's a call to mission. To make sure that other Filipinos get the same recognition, get to that point where they are also awarded for whatever they do, that they are able to contribute to society. Parang I think yung mission ng bawat isang outstanding young Filipino, 'di ba, natin, lalo na sa panahon ngayon. Kasi hindi tayo okay hangga't may isa sa atin na hindi okay. So, isipin na dahil okay ako ngayong pandemic, hindi naman ako naapektuhan, ay okay na yung mga Pilipino. Hindi eh. Parang hanggang may isa sa atin na hindi okay, sana pagtulungan natin maiangat ang bawat isa. So yun yung feeling ko po na tawag ng ano na to. I mean, ako naasiwa po ako pag sinasabing, oh yan, may award, di ba? Parang hindi po ako sa pero yung sa akin, when I look at my co-awardees, they remind us of what's the best in us as human beings.
That's
true. Award remind us Filipinos of what's best in us as Filipinos. Hindi pa rin nawawala sa akin yung tiwala sa kapwa Pilipino that we will make good decisions, that we will take care of one another. Hindi pa rin yun nawawala sa akin kahit na nakikita ko ang lahat ng kapangitan sa internet ngayon at sa paligid, pero may tiwala ako sa kapwa Pilipino at sana itong award na to ay magpaalala dun sa kung anong mabuti at maganda sa atin. Yun lang po.
Oh, yun lang. Maraming salamat kasi you serve that kind of inspiration. At tama ka, no one should be left behind. Yung tipong dapat inaangat natin yung bawat isa. And that's what we see now with this award. It's a symbol, and then sana patuloy yung pangarap, patuloy yung pag-asa, at sa hulit-huli makita natin yung the system or the society beyond ourselves and our small communities, our sectors. Kasi sa hulit-huli, kaya naman kayo binibigyan din ng ganyang pagkilala para sa hulit-huli, makilala rin tayo at mapahalagahan natin yung ating pagiging bansa, pagiging Pilipino. Maraming salamat. We're really so proud of you. So accept your award wholeheartedly later. And we hope to see you inspiring us more. And then bringing us there also, and then challenging us even, no? Dahil paglaki namin, gusto namin maging katulad nyo. So, maraming salamat. You keep on leveling up, and then we'll try covering you also, and we'll follow you. And then thank you for, again, in the end, it's really excellence, commitment, and conscience even. So, yun, pagpapalawak ng lahat ng yan, ng kahusayan, ng kagalingan. Tapos doon yung commitment natin, yung pagtutulungan natin para sa isa't isa. At yung sa huli-huli, pagpapalawak din ng konsyensya natin bilang bansa din. Maraming salamat and we'll see you. And thank you for leveling up with us. And congratulations to you, not only to you, but to your families and loved ones. May si Justin na taga Radyo Katipunan tinatanong Sab kung meron kang relasyon. Sabi niya, meron daw naman. So sana may pag-aalayan din kayo daw. Your achievements ought to have parang ganun grounding also. Na yun, di ba? How we manage the home and our personal lives is how we manage also our community and our country. Sa hulit-huli may pagbubuo nung yun nga, yung ganung mga units, yung sarili, pamilya, yung komunidad natin, yung sectors ninyo, at sa huli yung bansa. Maraming salamat and we shall applaud you later and then we'll continue leveling up. Maraming salamat. Thank you. You inspire us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Doc, professors, maraming salamat. Thank you. I know you have a long way to go. Salamat. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po sa pag-imbita.
Thank you.
Ingat
Salamat
po kayo.
po.
Ingat lahat.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Ingat doon.
Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your top variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, radyo, radyo.